Welcome to Basically Sci-Fi, the short story podcast with stories you can basically call sci-fi. My name's Todd.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jared.
When I was writing my story yesterday...
As we all do.
As I was writing my story yesterday, I wrote a line that was like from a moment from a precious memory from my childhood, and I wanted to share that with you. It was back when I was in boarding school. My friends and I were hanging out in the library because someone's room upstairs was on fire. And so we're in the library back in the 2000 whatever. Not all the computers have internet access for this reason. So there's a couple of computers that had internet access, but they were standing only, and they're all lined up right next to each other in full view of the rest of the library.
So you can't jerk it.
Yeah, right?
Standing only. It's impossible to jerk it standing, anyway.
Yep. And so... Oh, man. The story would be better if I could remember the name. There we go. My friend decides to just go to goldenshowers.com. He brings... Yeah, a .com. Come on. Anyway.
That's how you get a virus.
Anyway, he puts it up on the screen and he bolts. He just starts running. My friend laughs, thinking they're going to get Todd in trouble. He starts running too. Me, I go, "Why are we running?" And I start running too. We run through the library. We run down these stairs to like where a kindergarten class is reading. Like the teacher's reading them a book, but then these three high school kids burst into the room, laughing and breathing heavily, and the teacher goes, "Everybody get out, I need to have a talk with these boys." So all the kids start going upstairs where we just came running from.
Oh boy.
As you do.
Yeah, so as we're being scolded, and I'm like, yeah, we really shouldn't have been running in the library. Suddenly there's screams from upstairs going, "I didn't do it!" And yeah, so anyway, I look over at my other two friends like, what is going on? What are they talking about? And my friends just go, "You didn't click it off." So, yeah.
Oh, the kindergartners all learned that day that not everyone has to wear a diaper.
Or at least the one kid in the class who still how many kindergartners? Anyway, I don't want to get into that conversation either.
No.
The answer is all of them.
No.
We didn't really get in trouble for that, so that was good.
Yeah, you would have gotten
Yeah,
like, in a
that's
lot of
plus.
trouble.
Yeah, that's a plus. Plus, my one friend was cool about it. He did say that it was entirely his fault, and that me and my other friend shouldn't have got blamed for it. So overall, I was like, that was a really nice thing of him to do, to take ownership of it.
Oh, he fessed up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so the poor rando who was like happened to be standing near it, he was like, "I didn't do it." Like that guy didn't get like fucking expelled.
No.
That's wonderful. That's good.
They knew it was one of us when we were running.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the story I always think of when I hear, "Why are you running?"
Because goldenshowers.com
Why are
is
you
on.
running?
Yeah. Why are we running? Why is anyone running? And so when I wrote that in my story, that's what it's talking about.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, y'all's libraries sound like a den of degeneracy. Don't mind that. See, when I was in high school, we had a wonderful program on the library computers called PhysX. And so, like, I don't know if we're just a bunch of nerds, but, like, me and my friends would always go in there and, like, fucking... Apparently it's for physics advanced class students only, but we would go in and we'd like fuck around and then make like a building or something, and then like make like a bowling ball and like have it crash into it. And you can like program the physics so when it like shatters, like all the little things like go where they would in real life. And that was really fun. And that's all we did. We didn't look at porn.
But that does sound really fun. Man, I'm gonna be trying to. Can you buy it on Steam? Where's PhysX?
No, I think it was like one of those proprietary like educational programs that cost like thousands of dollars in real life.
Yeah. Programs be expensive sometimes.
I'm sure Steam has a version of it with anime girls.
Really?
What?
You smack them together and see how they break, I guess. I don't know.
Up.
Jesus.
He made that up. Here I was about to go check. But oh, man. Well, I'm sorry, guys, but this week's story doesn't have any anime girls.
Is there any furry yaoi?
No furry yaoi either, which I guess gives away that, but that's not the character this week.
Regale us with your wonderful story.
I will. It's the first time, so I don't know if I'm going to regale you, but I'll try to gale you. This story is called Nothing But Villains and Perverts. At exactly 4372 Space Standard Time, mere minutes after Cuck and Perdue began their attack on the Galactic Society of Friends, our, I want to say, heroes were still preparing to travel by space cab from Ares' home planet Meteoria 7, with the Dark Lord Edeth's hand in hand, which would hopefully be enough evidence to convince the Society that the Dark Lord was actually dead. The android assassin Iggy-88 was in the driver's seat, Flair riding shotgun, and Ari, Mitch, and Jared were in the back with Jared riding bitch. This is truly the greatest atrocity happening in the universe right now, Jared said, knowing full well that the entire race of frost giants were being enslaved by the Galactic Society of Friends. Handmaiden, don't you ever have anything positive to say? Ari asked, tired of the constant moaning. You can stop calling me Handmaiden, you know. I have a name, Jared said. Okay, Jared. Oh, I forgot that's what I told you my name was. That was just a false name I was living under back on New Earth 2. My real name is Raven. That sounds way more made up. Nuh-uh, that's my real name. Okay, Raven. Hey, changing topics. Why does communication technology suck so bad compared with everything else? Why can't we just call someone at the Galactic Society of Friends and tell them that we killed Edeth a long time ago? That's a great question, Iggy said, also wanting to change topics. As a time traveler, I'm in a pretty decent position to explain that. Communication technologies were actually one of the first priorities of ancient developing civilizations. The original Earth used to just send little beeps and boops out into space hoping to contact other worlds. After first contact was finally made and Earth's first pen pal status was achieved, communication technology really began to progress at an explosive rate. It wasn't until interneural communication biotechnology was achieved several centuries later that the dangers of too much communication began to be understood. The mischievous asphyxians used to prey on susceptible travelers by luring ships towards black holes, pretending to be gods speaking telepathically to mortals. It wasn't as widely accepted that gods didn't exist back then. The loss of a ship here and there would have been easy enough to deal with, perhaps even funny. But when the Zillions achieved singularity and started the Zillions' crusade to force all sentient life forms to join their hive mind, that was when it became apparent that greater communication wasn't necessarily better. To prevent a second crusade, all long-range and interneural communication was outlawed. So now we're limited to short-range radio-based communication, which kinda sucks. Right, Ari said, understanding the word crusade and not much else. Crusades aren't good. Unless it's a crusade against undesirables, Ari thought to himself. But he didn't say out loud because Nova had told him never to use the word undesirables again. Communication sucks because technology is sometimes scary. Nova said, not judging Aerie, because at this point, she had finally come to terms with the fact that Aerie was from a planet that still used horses for transportation. Thanks, Aerie said, appreciatively. Okay, calibrations are finalized, coordinates and trajectories set. I think we're ready to kick it into warp drive. I just realized we could have waited outside the cab for you to do that. We didn't need to be crammed in here in B.O. hell, Raven bitched unnecessarily. Shut up, Raven, everyone else said in unison. I'm right, though, Raven pouted. And that's why people don't like you, Raven. They don't appreciate being wrong or having things pointed out to them that they already know. I've found that the best way to deal with other humans, who are human, like myself, is to pretend to be dumb, Iggy said, helpfully ignoring his own advice. And with that, Iggy's cab ship, the Rat Scallions Are Second-Class Citizens 1, zoomed off for the Galactic Society of Friends.
No!
Oh, man.
Ugh.
The warp jump from Meteoria 7 to the Galactic Society of Friends took only a couple of seconds. Iggy checked the fuel gauge on his ship. I've really got to get a new ship that doesn't run out of fuel every time I warp jump. Oh well, I'm sure the Society will be able to get us a tank of gas after we deliver the good news. After braving the perils of talking to a man with a funny accent, a tense confrontation with Aerie's ex-wife, and the hellacious few moments packed tightly in a racistly named cab car, the 5 heroes were finally at the door of the supreme guy in charge, Yoayuki. I hope he's not jacking off in there again, Iggy said, not trying to be funny. Iggy opened the door slowly to reveal... Cuck the Conqueror and the Ratscallion alchemist Perdue were rummaging through Yoayuki's desk. There's nothing in these drawers but hundreds and hundreds of unopened condoms, Cuck declared. Maybe it's like at a bank, but instead of lollipops, he hands out free condoms? Perdue offered. Cuck's face contorted in disgust. Condoms for children? No, I mean, I don't think so. I guess in this analogy, the bank would be handing out lollipops to everyone? What's a place where everyone who goes in gets something for free? How about like a space mart where the elderly greeter hands out stickers? That's also only for children. I dare them to deny me stickers. Okay, then I guess it's like a greeter at Space Mart. No matter, Cuck said as he slammed the desk drawer. There is no way these condoms would be able to contain girths of such disrespectful magnitudes such as ours. Oh, hell no, dog. No doubt. Cuck and Perdue didn't seem to notice the miscreant group of confused adventurers peeking in from the entrance. Nova whispered to Aerie. Who are they? Aerie whispered back. No idea. Let's ask him. Aerie then pushed Iggy out of the way and slammed the door all the way open and pointed with his thick, calloused finger. Who are you and where is the supreme guy in charge? Aerie locked eyes with the two villains. Perdue bowed carefully, trying not to trip over his red trench coat. I'm Perdue, nice to meet you. This big guy is Cuck the Conqueror. The supreme guy in charge seems to have escaped with most of the other interns. Are there any interns still here? Aerie barked. Well, there's at least the one mortally wounded one back on the Senate floor. Thanks, Aerie said, and he turned to leave. Wait, Cuck called out. Who are you? Aerie. That name sounds vaguely familiar. Do you know Vin, the purple pirate? Or maybe Goofy, the gray cyborg? Aerie, don't answer that, Iggy said as he pulled Aerie back out of the room. Everyone move, we have to get to that intern and then get out. The group broke into a sprint, sensing the urgency in Iggy's voice. Mitch scooped Raven up and carried him on his back, since Raven's legs were still broken.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Ari broke his legs a couple
Why?
episodes ago.
For fun?
Because they challenged him on the throne hill.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Leave it to him to break a child's legs anyway.
Or the concubine hill, not the throne hill. Yeah. Why are we running? Mitch called because the rest of the group had gotten slightly ahead of him. Raven knew. Those two back at Yoayuki's office are bad news. Recently, there's been a string of planets left utterly destroyed and personally humiliated. If my suspicions are correct, they're the ones responsible. When Mitch and Raven had caught up, the rest of the group had already discovered the crumpled body of the Spermartian intern Rupert. This looks bad, said Nova as she passed her hand clear through the hole in Rupert's torso. He'll be fine, Ari said. Okay, Ari, not knowing how elevators, smartphones, and shit work makes sense, but come on. You don't have people with holes in their torso back on Meteoria? Fuck! Nova said as she reached for her flask. She had promised herself to be nicer to Ari and decided that every time she messed up, she would take a shot. It's kind of like a swear jar, but she didn't have any change on her. No, Ari's right, Iggy said. This guy's a Spermartian. All of his vital organs are located in his pelvis, so it's not as bad as it looks. Rupert's eyes suddenly blinked open, and he looked down at where he'd been punched. Oh boy, that's a big hole. That's not good. As Rupert's vision became more focused, he noticed the group looming over him. I'm gonna need you all to take a couple steps back. We have to get you to a doctor, Nova insisted. Well, I'm not gonna make it to a doctor if you accidentally cause me to jizz in my pants. Nova's expression hardened. Why am I not at all surprised that the first non-bad guy we run into here is a pervert? Raven agreed enthusiastically. That's what I'm saying. This timeline is nothing but villains and perverts. I'm not a pervert, Rupert the pervert said. Ari lifted the 9-foot-tall injured alien off the ground with one arm and slung him over his back, and then grunted in the direction of the parking area, indicating that he would like to leave. Iggy grunted back, because he learns new human behaviors by copying them. Just as they were getting ready to leave, Cuck and Perdue caught up to the group and cut off their path at the door. Cuck slowly began to put his punching gloves on. I remember. Ari. You were the one who made trouble for Vin back on New Earth 2. Vin never said anything about how breathtakingly gorgeous you were, Perdue said as his hands unconsciously cupped and fondled the air in front of him. Thanks, Ari replied. Additionally, Cuck continued, Vin said you're the ones who killed Edith. I knew it! Edith is already gone, said Rupert, feeling validated. Also, additionally, Perdue said while doing the electric slide so as to look as sexy as possible. Is that Iggy? Long time no see, my dude. Well, I'll be damned, Cuck grinned. It is, isn't it? Iggy, you son of a bitch. I'll enjoy punching you to death. Do you know them? Ari asked. Yeah, I definitely assassinated each of them at least once. Weird that they would be here now, Iggy said, tilting his head to the side like a dog. If that's all, then, Cuck said, having finished putting on his punching gloves. Introductions are out of the way and motivations are established. Let's get to punching. Gladly, Ari agreed, tossing Rupert off his shoulders and then cracking his knuckles. Hey, this is an injured man. Raven, buddy, I'm gonna need you to hold on real tight. Looks like I'll be carrying Rupert here, too, Mitch said, because he actually has the emotional capacity to care for others and great upper body strength.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. Airy and Cuck the Conqueror stood face to face, puffing their chests out at each other like angry roosters. Which made sense for Cuck, but not as much for Airy. Hey, Mitch! Airy called back without averting his stare from the angry rooster man in front of him. All Climaxavians as strong as you? Not sure. I'm only half Climaxavian. I grew up on New Earth too, and I never saw my mom fight. Airy smirked. Here's hoping he fights half as good as you. Without warning, Cuck swung one massive bird fist. Airy ducked just in time, and without hesitation weaved in towards Cuck to deliver a straight with all the momentum and power of his toned body behind him. Cuck didn't even flinch, but grabbed Airy by the arm and flung him back into some nearby Senate seats. The incredibly and technically most comfortable seats in the universe cushioned Airy's impact, and he was quickly back on his feet. Cuck began to get excited. Yes, I like you, Pale Man. This is already the longest fight I've had in over 1,000 years. Come on, punch more with me, let me feel! Despite 5 years spent on the desert planet, with 3 hot suns bearing down on him naked at the top of a hill, Airy had remained as pale as he had been down in Beamgut's dungeon. Hardly anyone noticed, but Nova, who spent a lot of time staring at Airy, noticed that he was actually more pale than usual. Also, he was missing his right hand and a lot of blood because Cuck had flung Airy really hard, snapping Airy's hand off at the wrist.
Oh no.
Adrenaline wearing off, Airy was the next to notice his lack of a hand. He started to feel woozy, but stumbled in Cuck's direction. Iggy, throw me my space saber. Can you catch it left-handed? Yeah, I'm ambidextrous. I didn't know that. I didn't either till Zephos told me I was, and that there was a word for it. Just one of those things I thought everyone could do. Don't know why you need a word for that. Airy managed to finish his sentence, but then collapsed. I can't carry any more people, Mitch said, exasperated and genuinely worried about how this situation was going to be resolved with the good guys winning. Start running back to the cab, Iggy said. I'll catch up and bring Airy with me. No one's going anywhere, Perdue said, blocking the only exit and wriggling his fingers wickedly. That's right, Cuck commanded. Perdue, I want to fight the Pale Man more. Give him a potion that will regrow his hand. I do usually carry extremity regrower potions around, but I think I might have left them in my other coat. Perdue gave himself a pat down. Don't worry, I had one in my pants pocket. He then flung the potion over to Nova, but she wasn't looking anywhere near the Ratscallion, so she made no attempt to catch the vial, which then smashed all over the floor. Ooh, I should have said catch. Hold on. I'll go get your other coat. Maybe there will be another potion in there, Cuck said and then bolted out of the room. No, wait! Don't go through my things! There are no porno mags or cigarettes in my coat pockets, but I still want you to respect my privacy! Perdue screeched and then followed Cuck. The good guys were left alone in the Senate building, completely defeated. Iggy and Nova worked together to carry Airy back to the Ratscallions or second-class citizens 1. Mitch carried Raven and Rupert. After loading their injured into the cab, Iggy checked the fuel gauge. He then eyeballed the distance between them and a large planet off in the distance. He decided that they would probably be able to make it. Hopefully that was where all the other interns from the Society had escaped to, and not just a giant terraformed pirate ship. To be continued.
Woo!
Nice.
I love Cuck so much. Anytime Cuck makes an appearance, I'm enthused. That's all I need.
Bit of fan service there, like Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, everyone needs a little cuck.
Yeah.
It's good. Bit of world building at the start, and then right into the right into the story. It's good to see them finally meet up with these guys.
Yeah, I'd been intentionally putting it off, I guess.
Yeah, as you do.
It feels like the most balanced story you've written so far as well.
Oh yeah? What do you mean?
Sometimes you don't describe locations, and that's totally fine because the dialogue and the action is really really going. So you don't often need it. But today, I felt like I knew exactly where everybody was and what things looked like, and of course, I already know what Cuck looks like in my heart. So
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, there was like the perfect balance of what's the word, narration and dialogue and scene description. Perfect.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard you guys' feedback before about scene descriptions and stuff, so I do try to. I've been trying recently to be more careful with that because a lot of the time, like, it's in locations that are being revisited, so I don't want to like go through the description again. But
Oh yeah.
I was trying to be particularly careful with I don't know, like the blocking, as it were, in this story.
You did a very wonderful job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What is blocking?
Blocking is movement of the characters within the scene.
Oh. I'm gonna have to study about that later.
It's usually when we're talking about stage plays.
Yeah, it's a theater term, not so much a writing term.
Right.
But an apt descriptor in this case, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for your feedback. I had fun with this story. I'm glad that it worked out as far as the balance between narration and jokes and dialogue. I will strive for the same in the future. Unless the same ceases to be funny, in which case I'll do something else.
Yeah, man, you do you.
Yeah.
And thank you guys at home for listening to Basically Sci-Fi. Next week, we're going to have a story by...
me!
Yeah! So, until then, stay cool and handsome, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Or don't, whatever.